Hi everyone. Today's video has 3 points and you're going to want to stick around because the third point is a secret as to the absolute best way to avoid getting scammed in self-publishing. So the topic we're discussing today is 3 self-publishing scams to watch out for. By the end of this video, you're going to have the knowledge necessary to know and avoid the very scams you'll see. You're going to know the difference between scams and things that are not exactly scams and are completely legal. And you're going to feel great knowing that you're not going to experience what so many of my coaching clients experience when it comes to getting scammed with your books. So let's get into it. This is Chris Baird from selfpublishingmadeeasynow.com, where self-publishing doesn't have to be so hard. Hit the subscribe button if you'd like for me to make more videos like this one, and check out below in the description and join me in a one-on-one discovery session for absolutely free to take a look and build a roadmap for your self-publishing journey, as it's helped plenty of other people previously. So, from my own story, or rather one of my friend's stories, a friend of mine, he produces films. So he makes horror films and all sorts of types of films. The thing is that he realized that even though he would put these films in film festivals and stuff, there was a lot of money to be made on Amazon. The problem is putting books, or in this case, movies, onto Amazon can be quite challenging. They have all sorts of requirements that you have to fulfill if you wish to have your movies on Amazon, just like the books. Thing is, he hired out to a company that specializes in this very skill set. They actually will take your movie and ensure that everything is perfect, and then they will put it out on their account and send you royalties based upon the sales that happen. And they were even telling him at the time the sales that he was making was $500 a month for one of his films. And so he was incredibly excited, except for one little problem, which was they were never sharing the dashboards. Just like we have with books, where you'll see dashboards on Amazon, you can see your sales. They were not sharing that information with him. And for those royalties they were making, they informed him that, well, those $500 a month, they were enough to cover the costs associated with their work. Well, the question was, what work were they doing? They had successfully put the movie onto Amazon, but they had done absolutely nothing beyond that. So they were just sitting on his money month after month, and we don't even know what the exact amount was because they weren't sharing even the dashboards from Amazon. After all, they were so busy doing all of this work for his project, right? Well, he eventually ended up suing them and threatening them, and so they released the rights back to him. And I think there was a payout he even had to do in order to get them back. And the thing is, this is a very common experience for self-publishers as well when it comes to getting your books on the market. You feel that it's too difficult. After all, I'm not very good with technical things. I could never learn this stuff. So I will just hire another company to go and produce the book and put it on their account on Amazon. So you don't even have to log into Amazon, right? They'll have your book over there and they'll tell you you own the rights to the books. There's no questions about that. But your book is on their site. Do you see? And so as they're making sales, they will decide how many sales they wish to tell you you've made or not made. And well, is that the actual number of sales? Are they keeping money for themselves? It's impossible to know these things. Some of these companies will do this for 3 months. It'll be like a 3-month delay. Now on Amazon, they'll of course see what's happening on a monthly basis, but then they can just sit on your money for a very long time. Now I should say that some of my coaching clients have commented and reached out and said, this is a scam. Some of the things that they've found, some of the hybrid companies or vanity self-publishing companies that they found are scams. And the reason they will say it's a scam is because, well, look, after they did the initial service, all they want to do is upsell me on marketing or this or that. And my point is, look, this isn't a scam. It's just they're going to extract an awful lot of money from you. And the other thing is they get to the end and say, I am not seeing any sales on my books after having gone through and paying $10,000 to get my book onto the market. They said they checked it, and after evaluation, they decided that my book was good enough to meet the standards, their strict standards, and you just give them $10,000 and then they will do it. But after that, no sales. But they said, don't worry, for only $800, you can get our marketing package where we will post your book on all sorts of social media marketing. And now you can see where the problem comes. It's that even with doing that, they're still not going to be getting any sales on your book. Maybe one one here or one there. But for the most part, absolutely nothing is going to be coming through. And so the problem then is, well, I guess I've been scammed. Well, not really, because they just said they would market your book, or they would produce your book. They didn't promise they wouldn't upsell you all the way across. They didn't tell you how many sales you would get. You read their sales page and you heard of all these people making millions of sales and best sellers and everything. But when it came to the end of it, you simply were not experiencing those same things that they were not claiming we would get, but they did say it. And in the small print, of course, they'll say results may vary, and that the people who write here are not typical of people who use our service. So still not a scam. They haven't promised anything that they haven't delivered. Now, and that's a very important point. In other words, they're not doing something illegal. That doesn't mean their customers are happy with them. It just means they're not violating any laws. They didn't promise something and fail to deliver. And that is the definition of a scam. But let's get to it. 3 self-publishing scams to watch out for. I've hit a couple of them already here. But the first thing is if they have like a bestseller guarantee. One of the tricks with this one is they will put you in a minor category and they personally will buy 100 copies of your book. That will guarantee you will reach that bestseller status. Now keep in mind, you're only going to have it for one day. Your account can get banned as a result of purposely choosing false categories to put your book under, which I would never suggest using this strategy. You can pick categories that are sort of like your book, but never these false categories when you're choosing which categories. We want to choose categories where we have a chance to compete. Ideally, we'd have 100 books in that category, but as few as 100 to 200 sales in a given day is enough for many of these small categories to bump you over putting you in the bestseller of that category, because there's so few books that are sold in that subcategory or sub niche on Amazon. So any book, you give me any book, I will put it into that category. I will purchase 100, 200 copies. So for $1,000, and each book, I tell you to reduce the price to $1 a piece, we can get you a bestseller, and I would say by the end of the week. You see? So this is a little bit of a scam because we're breaking some rules here. Could get our account banned as a result of all of this. So we have to be very careful with that. And people get too focused on this bestseller on Amazon. Some of my books, which hit bestseller status, some of them even for weeks at a time. But the fact is, it didn't have a huge, massive impact on the number of sales I was making. It's more of a vanity metric, as we'd call it, where you enjoy looking at it, but it's not having a massive impact on increasing new sales. It's just that if you can get it, it will have a marketing impact because they'll see it when they see it in your ads or when the book comes up on first page results, which is the most important thing, showing up on that first page result, why we focus on keywords here. The other thing is the number of sales guarantee. We guarantee you will sell millions of copies, or you'll be a millionaire in a month, or you'll have $3,000 to $10,000 in sales a month. This is something they cannot do. Now, obviously they can do it. If you give them $10,000 and they guarantee you'll get $1,000 for the first 3 months, well, maybe they're just using the money that you gave them in order to give you that first ranking #1 bestseller on Amazon for your category. And then in addition, you're suddenly getting those royalties that they promised you. But this is a scam in a sense because when we're talking about making money, we're talking about actual organic sales, not that the company that sold you on all of this is themselves engineering the very sales that they're talking about. So this would also get you in trouble, could, with Amazon, because depending upon the accounts they're using in order to do this. So I would recommend you stay away from this particular thing and watch out for this practice. The next thing is they, like my friend's example, they directly get all royalties and you get nothing month after month. They know what the thing is. And I was recently talking with one of my discovery clients who was, after doing a discovery session, we realized that going through it was a hybrid publisher, that they guaranteed the book would be out by a certain date. And yes, you'll own all the rights. That's not the same as, is it going to be registered? Are you going to get the files so that you will register them under your own account? Because if you have them under your own account, then you can actually see the number of sales that are coming through, and you can make sure that the sales that are coming through on your books, you actually can see them on a day by day, and you get the royalties into your bank account, as opposed to using them as an intermediary. Because the way it's sold is, look, we will put the book together, we'll get it all done, we'll put it out there, and your book will then start making money for you, you see? And then at that point, we don't need to do anything. Well, the reality is they're still sitting on the book. They're going to take probably some royalties just as a result, a percentage of the royalties as a result of them having to deal with the administration and the bureaucracies around getting you your money that you earned on those books. Do you see it? Amazon will pay them directly. Then they will decide, well, I don't know, how much money do we send, each month to the author. And this is the thing I would warn all of you about. This is why I'm telling you, if you're going to go with something, you don't want to, format it yourself, which I teach you below in the course in the description, but you're going to do it yourself. Well, at least pay somebody to do the formatting so you have the files and you upload them to your own account. This part you can learn no matter how technically difficult you are, or it is the technologies are very difficult for you. You still can learn how to do something this simple as just uploading it to your account, typing in the metadata for your book, the title, importing the cover and putting a description in, and so on and so forth, and then putting the book on there, because then you're at least going to get the royalties directly and not have to go through someone. And if you do go through someone else, they're going to ensure that it's going to be a pain, because they're not going to want to transfer those rights back to you. Now, you may be thinking, oh, but I own the rights. Well, yes, you own the copyright, but the fact is when they register with Amazon, it is not as simple as just hitting a button and suddenly all those books start flowing into your account. So this is another very important point that you're going to want to keep track when you're trying to avoid scams. But the third and secret point of the day is find a forum where people who have tried the service and are happy afterwards are sharing feedback. Now, this is something that I know all of you out there who have gone for this hybrid solution have not found it, because afterwards, after doing sessions with you, I've sat down and Googled and tried to find where the forums are of the people who have done these services, where they're sitting around and saying, wow, I cannot believe all the sales I'm getting, and I'm so happy with how that whole service went. It was seamless and smooth, and they were so helpful the entire process. And even after the process, they're still helpful. They don't just disappear, but are around. And that is something I'm telling you, do not even think of signing a contract with one of these companies until you found a group of people who can actually tell you, look, we're very happy with these services. This is one of the reasons I even have this very channel, is to help you avoid going through the pain of this. I coach people and teach you exactly how you can do it yourself, the easy way, not the hard way, but the easy way. So don't allow these scammers to get in your way and tell you, oh, you couldn't figure this stuff out. It's too hard for you. It's too difficult. So just let us do all the work, and then you'll make all the royalties off of it. And I'm telling you that this will cost you more money and frustration in the long run, and will maybe prevent you from even writing your next book, because you'll be thinking, look at the hassle that it was on the first book, which is something that I believe, and Self-Publishing Made Easy Now believe, that it doesn't have to be hard, and it should be fun. The whole process should be a lot of fun. We didn't say it would be super easy in the sense of you can do it in one day, but after a while you can do it in a day. But as we move through the steps nice and easy, one by one, we will slowly build up our books and do it the easy way without having to deal with the scams. And that's one of the things also with all of my customers and clients over the years. The fact is people are happy with it. If anybody's unhappy, you get your money back immediately, because I do not want anyone working with me who isn't happy with the service that's provided. And so that's another key thing. Do you have a guarantee with these people that you're going through? Once you realize this isn't going to work out, are you able to pull the plug and say, I want my money back. I want my book back. I don't want to go with you any longer. Most of these companies will say, no, you've already done this. We've already done these services, so you're just not going to get it. And that's another big issue. Is there actually a money back guarantee associated with it? Because if there isn't, then this is something you're not going to want to sign up for. Well, my question for you is, what self-publishing scams have you seen? Let me know below in the comments, and check up above me here for more video answers to your self-publishing questions. Thanks.